Good evening and welcome to the August meeting of the Select Board. It's Thursday, August 15th. And as always, we're going to start with a roll call. Do we have Alec on? Okay, we have Alec on Zoom. We have Denise in person. We have Kevin. We have Mr. Marsan, and we have myself. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So if anybody's seen the agenda, we have quite a bit to get through tonight, so I'm thinking we're going to do it in type 15. So let's try it.
15 hours?
Yeah.
15 at a time.
All right. So we're going to start with the appointment of treasurer collector.
If we could hold off on that, she can't be here.
We can
tonight.
absolutely hold off on that. Agreed. Vote to amend council on aging appointment by exchanging positions as follows. Michael E. Sweeney Jr. from alternate council on aging member 2025 to permanent council on aging member through June 30th, 2027.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marson?
make a motion that we appoint Mr. Michael Sweeney from alternate council member on aging 2025 to permanent council member on aging through June 30th, 2027.
Okay.
Second.
A motion is second. And thanks to Alec being in paradise, we have to roll call. So Alec?
Yes.
Okay, Denise?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
And I am a yes. Next up, we have the appointment of Barbara, I don't know how to pronounce this.
Ohanian.
Oh, honey, thank you, Peter. Barbara Ohanian as alternate member to the Council on Aging.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marson.
I make a motion that we appoint Barbara O'Hanian as the alternate member to the council on aging.
Second.
The motion is second. Alec?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
And I am a yes. Excellent. And now we have the appointment of Elizabeth Pierce to the Cultural Council.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marson.
make a motion that we appoint Elizabeth Pierce to the council, cultural council.
Second.
Teamwork, I love this. Alec?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
And I am a yes. Okay, now the appointment.
Congratulations to those folks.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you, yes. Now we have the appointment of the Select Board's representative to the Capital Improvements Committee. I know it's been Alec this past year. So Alec, did you want to remain on?
Yes, I would like to.
Mr. Chair,
And Mr. Marson?
I make a motion that we appoint Alec Rich as the select board representative to the capital improvements committee.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Alec?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
And I am, yes. Okay, and now we have the appointment of the Select Board's representative to the Traffic Study Committee. No, it's the Traffic Safety Committee.
That's,
It's actually called the traffic study committee. We may change that at a future meeting.
I created that committee. I don't know the name of it. All right. So I've been badgered by Mr. Marsan to be the representative because he would really like to go, and so I'll step aside from that one if Roger would like to.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Rich.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Roger Marsan as the Select Board representative to the Traffic Study Committee.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Alec?
Yes.
Denise?
yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Roger?
Abstain.
And I'm a yes, so. 4-0 with one abstention. Excuse me. Now we have minutes for July 11th, 2024. Did everybody get a chance to look them over?
Yep.
Any changes, questions, comments? I think they look good to me, so.
Mr. Chair, make a motion to approve the minutes for the July 11th, 2024 circuit.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Alec?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. So minutes approved. Told you, type 15. All right. Now we're on to licenses and permits. We have a vote to approve the application for a one-day beer and wine license for, 24/12 to TPC Boston for a private event shown as Tent B at the 18th green of 400 Arnold Palmer Boulevard, Norton, Mass. From 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. from Thursday, August 29th, 2024 to Sunday, September 1st, 2024. And we do these separately, right, Mike?
And just as you approve them, subject to police detail and 2 drink.
Per
limit
person.
Per person.
Per transaction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marsden.
I make a motion that we approve the application for a one-day beer license to TPC for a private event shown as Tent B at the 18th green at 400 Arnold Palmer Boulevard, Norton, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Thursday, August 29th, 2024 to Sunday, September 1st, 2024, subject to police detail and serving only 2 drinks per person per transaction.
Second.
You got that, Jen?
Yes.
Okay. All right, motion and a second. Alec?
Yes.
Denise?
Oh, sorry, yes.
That's okay. Kevin?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes?
And I'm a yes. I like the enthusiasm. Okay, next up, we have vote to approve the application for a one-day beer and wine license, 2414 to TPC Boston for a private event shown as Tent A at the 18th green of 400 Arnold Palmer Boulevard, Norton, Mass. From 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. from Thursday, August 29th to Sunday, September 1st, 2024.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marson.
I make a motion that we approve the application for a one-day beer and wine license to TPC Boston for a private event shown as Tent A on the 18th green at 400 Arnold Palmer Boulevard, Norton, Mass. From 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. from Thursday, August 29th, 2024 to Sunday, September 1st, 2024, subject to police detail and 2 drinks per person per transaction.
Second.
Okay, Roger.
Yes?
I'm sorry. That was, you are on point, I love that. Okay, Alec,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
and I'm a yes, and so is Roger, so, okay. Don't skip a beat. Okay, this next one, I'm gonna allow whoever's gonna make the motion to read this whole thing if they'd like.
So I know that we have somebody from the TPC here. I don't know if they want to speak to any of this at all.
I'm Patrick Healy from the LPGA Tour. We're super excited to be bringing the LPGA to the town of Norton. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to know the team here over the past year, working with TPC Boston. I think as many know, the men's side of the game of golf has a long history, so to have the opportunity to bring 144 of the best female golfers is definitely something we're super excited about. We're closed to the public. Our tournament week runs 7 days, Monday to Sunday. We are closed to the public Monday to Wednesday, and then open to the public Thursday to Sunday. I think many know the scale of what we're bringing is certainly significantly modified from what you would have seen during the PGA Tour days. So we have been working obviously closely with the town on logistics, coordination of all that. So I think from our side, super excited to be bringing the event, the tournament here in a few weeks, and just want to thank everybody on the team that supported to date.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and welcome to town.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Norton, and I'm looking forward to going to the golf championship at TPC Boston, and I've been there during the Dell Technology Championship and the Deutsche Bank Championship, and I'm looking forward to watching some golf back in the town of Norton, and the mayor will get in for free, right?
I don't know about that.
You better work on that.
But that's not supposed to be said out loud.
All right, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, I missed, yes, it's just.
I'd like to make a motion to vote to approve the application of the Ladies Professional Golf Association 100 International Golf Drive, Daytona Beach, Florida, for one-day special alcohol licenses from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. to be utilized at the Tournament Players Club of Boston Golf Course, 400 Arnold Palmer Boulevard, Norton, Mass, for a public event as follows. The 19th hole concession, 18th green, August 29th to September 1st, all alcohol. FM Global Hospitality, 18th green, August 29th to September 1st, all alcohol. TPC Boston Member Hospitality, 18th green, August 29th to September 1st. Women's Leadership Summit, 18th green, August 26th. 16th green concession, 16th green, August 29th to September 1st. Champions Club, 16th green, August 29th to September 1st. Cabanas, 16th green, August 29th to September 1st. 11th green concession on the 11th green, August 29th to September 1st. Third tee concession, second green, third tee, August 29th to September 1st. The 7th green concession, 7th green, August 29th to September 1st. Pro-Am T-Bar, first tee, August 28th. Pro-Am T-Bar, 10th tee, August 28th, 2024. And the Driving Range Clinic Bar, Driving Range, August 26th to August 27th. The 16th green concession, the 11th green concession, 3rd tee concession, and 7th green concession are all beer and wine. All the rest are all alcohol. Do we have the beer restriction on this one as well? The
Yes.
2 beers? Okay, so this is subject to police detail, and also a 2-drink limit per person per transaction.
I'll second it, and impressive.
And your screensaver went on halfway through that.
I panicked, believe me.
Okay, Alec,
He fell asleep. Alec?
Alec?
I think that was yes.
Yes.
Okay, Denise,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Roger,
Yes,
and I am a yes, absolutely yes.
we hope for a,
A long relationship.
right, and a great turnout, and hopefully it'll work out great for all sides. Thank you very much for
Thank
coming to
thank you
town.
guys,
Absolutely.
come see us in a couple weeks.
We'll be there.
We will be there.
Awesome.
And I'll be there too.
We've heard, yeah, you're in.
We'll be sneaking in.
All right, next up, we have vote to approve the request of FJ Burgers LLC, doing business as Fat Johnny's Burgers and Bites, to have a standalone sign and additional seating. Did everybody see this one?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it, so,
Are they here? It's like-
He's not.
I don't think he's
Oh,
here,
okay.
no.
He's
Like,
checking.
where do they put the tables? Because at the daycare center, right? So where do they put the tables when,
I think they put them out and then just put them back in their truck.
like
after.
behind the, oh, in the truck? Okay, gotcha.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marson,
I make a motion that we approve the request for FJ Burgers LLC, doing business as Fat Johnny's Burgers and Bites, to have a standalone sign and additional seating.
Second.
okay. Motion and second, Alec,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Roger,
Yes?
and I am a yes. All right, excellent. We're on pace here. So next up is vote to approve the special events application of Melissa on behalf of Parks and Recreation for the 31st annual Charlie Halloween Parade scheduled from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. on Sunday, October 27th, where I will not be spraining an ankle. So,
Mr.
Second
Chair,
it. Oh, sorry.
do you have to?
Read the motion first.
Let me read it.
I make a motion that we approve the special events application on behalf of the Parks and Recreation for the 31st annual Charlie Halloween Parade scheduled from 12 to 2 on Sunday, October 27th, 2024.
Second it.
all right, motion and second, Alec,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Roger,
Yes?
and I'm a yes. And Alec, you're gonna work on a truck for the select board, right?
I'm sorry?
You're gonna work on a truck for the select board to ride in?
Yeah, we've got one. Absolutely.
Otherwise,
I'll
I'm
be in
buying some
the-
golf carts for us all.
And I'll be in the trade like the mayor, right?
I really,
We could decorate
I'm
them.
not even kidding. Yeah, I'm thinking about that. So-
Yeah.
All right.
Look for the Veterans Council float and
All right, it's exactly 6:15, so we have a public hearing on the application of Great Woods Beer and Wine, doing business as Great Woods Beer and Wine. Okay. Manager Preet Patel for a new section 15 off-premises wine and malt beverage license at 92 Mansfield Ave, Norton, Mass.
I think they're here.
Yes, we have to open the public hearing. No motion.
Make a motion and we open the public
His
hearing.
attorney are online.
We don't need to vote to open, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we do, okay.
I can vote to open the special meeting for the public hearing on the application of Great Woods Beer and Wine, doing business as Great Woods Beer and Wine with manager Preet Patel for a new section 15 off-premises wine and malt beverage license at 92 Mansfield Ave, Norton, Massachusetts, 02766.
Second.
Okay, Alec,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Roger,
Yes?
and I am a yes to open the public hearing. So, Mr. Patel, we have you and your attorney are both on, I believe?
Yes,
So-
yes, good evening, board. My name is Matthew Porter, the attorney for Great Woods Beer and Wine. Along with me, via Zoom is Mr. Patel. I can certainly, if the board would like, I can certainly open up with a brief presentation of what's before you, and then certainly be myself or Preet can answer any questions that you may have.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Okay, great. So this is an application for a beer and wine license, section 15 license at 92 Mansfield Ave in Norton. As I said, Preet Patel is here along with me. Mr. Patel is the 100% principal of Great Woods Beer and Wine Corp., which would be doing business at Great Wood Beer and Wine, if so approved today. Mr. Patel is not only just the shareholder, he'd also be the proposed license manager, meaning he'd be the individual to be there overseeing the operation of the store anywhere between 40 to 50 hours per week. Mr. Patel grew up in this industry. His family owned other stores. He had recently worked at a store in Mansfield, which had a beer and wine license. So he oversaw the sale of beer and wine there. They had no issues whatsoever at that location. They certainly understand the rules and responsibilities that come along with the operation of beer and wine. So essentially before the board is just a proposal for beer and wine license, which would be a supplemental product at the store. It would be a convenience store aspect. Hours of operation would be 9 to 9 on Monday through Saturday. And then they would open at 9 on Sundays as well, but alcohol sales or beer and wine sales rather would not commence until 10 a.m. In accordance with ABCC on Sundays. So this was a package store location, as I'm sure the town is aware. That license moved a few years ago. The space has been vacant, and so the developer hoping to go in here, try to breathe some new life into the location with the operation of a convenience store with beer and wine. So otherwise, everything is in order. He's gone in and done his fingerprinting. We've had the plan approval reviewed by the building department. So I think all local sign-offs should certainly be there. And leases in place. From that, I can certainly answer any questions that the board may have, and Mr. Patel can as well.
Okay, any questions from the board here?
When do you hope to open this place?
Yeah, so if it was approved today, I think they would start with a build out of it. The ABCC is extremely backed up with their licenses right now, so we're probably looking at a few months out from their approval. So they'd be trying to open in conjunction with that license being approved.
And does Mr. Patel have any concern about trying to get in and out of that convenience store? I know the traffic on that corner there and the parking, is there any change to how the parking used to be as opposed to, is there some change coming?
I don't think that they, have contemplated any changes to it. This would be a new location for them. It had sustained as a package store for an extended period of time. Certainly they can look into, safety measures if the town has some concerns there.
Okay, anything else, Mike?
Mr. Chair, if I may?
Al, go ahead.
Mr. Porter, how long has the property been vacant from the previous package store that was there?
I believe the store moved about 2 years ago. Yeah, so the package store moved. I think it was 2 years.
Yeah. Okay, that's zoned for that? That wasn't a pre-existing use before?
Yeah, it's properly zoned, correct, yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Okay.
I just have a question for maybe it's Mike or Jen. So this is a new license that that they're applying for. Are there other people that are in line applying for licenses right now that we know of?
Not for this specific type of license. There are other applicants that have come forward, but this is for an off-premise, just beer and wine. And there's still a few left in the quota too.
So it's not the last one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Mr. Patel, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name, what the attorney's name is, I'm sorry.
Matthew Porter.
Matthew? So
Yes.
it's gonna be a convenience store, what percentage of the store is gonna be convenience and which percentage of the store is gonna be for beer and wine, do you know?
Yeah, I'd say it's probably 25% beer and wine, just based off of the plans, 75%, convenience store products, so. And as pointed out, this is not a full package store license, so it's certainly not trying to sustain the business by just the beer and wine alone, so, yeah, I'd say 25% at most, would be the beer and wine sales.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Alex, did you have anything further?
I didn't, no.
Okay, what about the rest? Okay, so nothing from the board. Is there anybody in the audience that has any questions? No? Okay, excellent. So, I love this audience tonight. All right. So I guess we can close the public hearing at this point?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for the application of Great Woods Beer and Wine Corporation, DBA Great Woods Beer and Wine at 92 Mansfield Avenue.
Second.
Motion and a second. Alex?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes?
And I am a yes to close the public hearing. So now what are our thoughts on this?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marson?
I don't have any concerns about having a beer and wine license at that location.
I mean, I think it's better than an empty building, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if they can turn it into something, that would be an addition to the town, so I'm all for it.
All right, so I'll look for a motion here.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marson?
I make a motion that we grant the beer and wine license to Great Woods Beer and Wine, this is Great Woods Beer and Wine. Preet Patel for the off-premise wine, and malt beverage license at 92 Mansfield Ave, North Mass, 02766.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Alex?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes?
And I'm a yes.
Congratulations, Mr.
All
Patel,
right.
welcome to town.
Excellent.
We hope you'll be very successful there.
Thank you.
All right, so the next public hearing is 6:30.
Thank you all for your time, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have about 6 minutes, so we can do some other items before that starts. We'll skip down to new business number 3. Discussion and/or vote to grant easement between the town of Norton and Northtown Properties to access 77 West Main Street, Norton, through part of map 22, lot 85.
Good evening. My name is George Messmeyer, I represent Northtown Properties.
Can you use the podium?
Yeah.
Oh, you have them now?
Yep.
We have them highlighted to
perfect.
make the determination of the land more clear. I'm sorry.
You fine, thank you.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome. Where would you like me to stand?
All right.
Podium if you don't mind.
Good evening, everybody. Again, my name is George Messmeyer, M-E-S-M-A-R. I'm an attorney representing Northtown Properties. Excuse me. Less than a year ago, my client purchased the highlighted properties, highlighted parcels you see on that land map from the Rich estate, the former estate of Clarence P. Rich. Northtown Properties would like to develop both properties and right now they're in the early stages of what they're going to put there, but they would like to develop it, and it is zoned for mixed use at this time. At this juncture, the previous owners, the Rich Estate, had that shaded area. They had a license for the use of that shaded area that the town gave them in order to access both of those properties. If you notice, the smaller of the two properties has a curb cut. I'm sorry, yeah, that's right. The smaller of the two properties has a curb cut, but the larger of the two properties does not have a curb cut. And the purpose of what Northtown Properties is requesting is that the license that was previously granted to the Rich family for that shaded area be converted into a permanent easement so that they can develop both property spaces and have egress out to the main street without the necessity to cut a new curb cut. They don't want to do another curb cut because of the high school across the street. An additional curb cut would probably cause traffic problems and impact public safety. So it would be safer to just have one curb cut, the one that exists in the smaller unit, and be able to access that shaded area as a permanent easement. Any questions? It's pretty much fairly straightforward.
It is pretty straightforward. Do you have, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry, any questions?
Do you have any idea what kind of development we're trying to put in here?
They're still in the early stages of deciding how they're going to develop it, but it is going to be mixed use, so it might be retail, might be residential. I've been to the property. I'm sure everybody drives by it on a regular basis. It's fallen into some measure of disrepair, and it doesn't look very good. So I think any development would certainly improve the appearance of Main Street and contribute to the local economy.
Is there any timeline, do you know?
Right now, like I said, they're still in the early stages, but I would say probably no more than a year or so.
Through the chair, Mr. Units, if we give a permanent easement to that piece of property, is that going to prevent us from being able to access it or use it in the future, because that will landlock town property behind it?
Yeah. No, because we'd keep rights to that same easement. We'd have town council write it up so that we'd keep rights to that easement too.
You know, make sure that's clear.
So,
Well, my understanding is that the area is like wetlands and forestry, so it's not something that's used on a regular basis.
Is that part of the Fernandez donated
It
property?
It is, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So one other question, just to be clear, that all the traffic's gonna be, there'd be no traffic coming out from any place along there except out through that easement?
Probably. There is a small curb cut from the smaller property. You can see it toward the right-hand side of that picture.
Mm-hmm.
That would be maybe for limited use, but most of the ingress and egress would come from that easement.
Because that curb cut is almost directly across the street from the opening to the high school.
Exactly, and we would probably not be using that for that very purpose. We wouldn't want to impact the high school, cause any more problems for the kids or for local traffic.
Traffic.
Yes.
Okay. Alec, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Okay. Anybody else? Without any questions, look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to grant the easement between the town of Norton and Northtown Properties to access 77 West Main Street, Norton, Mass. Through part of map 22, lot 85.
Second.
Go ahead.
and this also required town meeting approval.
Okay.
Okay, Alec,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Roger,
Yes,
and I'm a yes.
and thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
highlighting
thank you
that.
very much, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, we're now at 6:30 PM, so we have the public hearing. So the application of
Oh, I thought that was, but it's not.
Oranito Spirits LLC doing business as. Really, guys?
You need some help with those names?
Han T.S. Spirits,
I'm gonna try it.
Rockwood.
Public hearing on the application of Aranitas Spirits LLC doing business as 123 Beer, Wine, and Smoke. Manager is Jerry Alessandritos. Alessandritos, all right. For the transfer of the Section 15 off-premises wine and malt beverage license from Yana Norton LLC doing business as 123 Beer, Wine, and Smoke. Manager is Michelle Patel to be utilized at 57 West Main Street, Unit C, Norton. So we have to open the public hearing.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to open the public hearing on the application of Arhantia Spirits, doing business as 123 Beer and Wine Smoke at 57 West Main Street.
Okay.
Second.
A motion and a second. Alec?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes?
And I am yes to open the public hearing. Okay.
Hi.
So just let us know your names and,
This is, my name is Jerry Alessandrados, and this is Arhantia Alessandrados, is also my mother and my partner. We have been doing this together in business for about 30 years now, in the restaurant business. And we're looking to do something different. I could not handle the restaurant business anymore. We were short-staffed, we couldn't find any help. So we need something smaller and more manageable. And this is a good opportunity for us to join the town and help out as much as we can.
all right, excellent. So we have the application here. Are there any questions from the board you want to start off?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Mr. Marcy?
how'd you find out about this? Was it advertised that it was for sale? Because they just opened that place not that long ago.
Yeah, it was advertised through a broker. And
Okay.
I was looking, and I got in touch with the broker, and I got in touch with Mr. Vishal. And we worked out the deal.
Okay.
And so I know that you say that you had a hard time with staff in your restaurant.
Yes.
How about having, keeping the place open? What about staffing for the
Staffing this
store?
one is like maybe 2 people. I mean, I can handle this myself, my family, I have my son and my daughter at home. They can work through, I mean, there's no problem staffing this particular business. But a restaurant, you need a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And it's been so hard lately, so
It's very difficult to get employees, I can tell you that.
unbelievable.
Okay. Alec, you're on Zoom. Do you have any questions?
I do. The beer and wine, is this, just for clarification, is this already operating, selling beer and wine at 57 West Main? You're just purchasing the business that's already there?
That's right. Correct.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I was in there today. So.
Sorry, anything else, Alec?
No, thank you.
Okay, anybody else here? Okay, anyone in the audience have any questions? Okay, excellent. So I guess I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second that.
Okay, Alec,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes.
Kevin.
Yes.
Roger.
Yes?
And I'm a yes to close the public hearing. So, comments or motions, anyone?
I hope that they do well. I really hope that you do well there.
I hope so.
It's kind of a tough spot. You're kind of stuck in the last unit in that building.
We've been observing, and it's getting better and better all the time, and it's, you know, we're a small family, and as long as we get by, that's all we're looking for.
And are you friends with the folks who own the Norton House of Pizza?
I know them, I know them, he's also the landlord, he's
They're
also
good
my
people.
landlord.
Yeah, no, they are very good people, so you'd be fortunate to be friends with them, so.
All right, so we need a motion to approve the license?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve the application of, and I apologize for mispronunciation, but the Arhantia Spirits.
That's very good.
Doing business as 123 Beer, Wine, and Smoke. Manager Jerry Alessandros for the transfer of the Section 15 off-premises wine and malt beverages license from Yana Norton. Doing business as 123 Beer, Wine, and Smoke. Manager Vishal Patel to be utilized at 57 West Main Street, Unit C, Norton, Mass.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Alec,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Roger,
Yes?
and I'm a yes.
All right.
Welcome
Thank you
down.
very much and welcome.
Good luck.
When will you be taking over?
Thank you, good luck.
When are you taking over?
Probably in a couple of months, we still have to get more licensing from
Yeah.
tobacco and lottery.
Okay. Great.
Okay?
All right, good luck with all that.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Welcome to
thank you
town.
very much.
Okay, moving right along, we have discussion and or vote to approve the request of Craft Cannabis to extend the hours of operation to 11 p.m.
Mr. Chair,
One second. Did you have something to say about this? Or do you want me to
I was
say?
gonna ask that.
I was just gonna see if Andre was here, but he's not.
Okay. My question is that that's part of a special permit, so that shouldn't be voted here? Or are they just looking for our approval?
Just looking for your support, and then he'll have to go to the planning board.
Okay.
It was actually planning board thing,
Yeah, I believe the hours of operation are based on the special permit, so, I mean, me personally, I think it's been a great business for this town, I think that that's all I can say, I mean, they've been fantastic for this town. They've
Yeah.
been, so I'm 100% fine with extending those hours. We don't need a vote, but if
Yeah.
anybody else wants to speak.
I'm fully supportive too, surprised I didn't before with all the concert activities, and good to have, right?
Yeah.
Do we know what their current hours are?
He was just
Fall
10?
To 10?
Till 10?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's extending an hour, I mean, I don't see an issue with that either.
I would, Mr. Chair, I would fully support this as well. They are an asset to the community is what I would call them.
It's a great work, yeah.
They, the way that they help out in the community, the way that they give back to the community, the volunteer organizations that they've helped out over the past year is remarkable. So I would prefer to change their hours of operation for an hour.
And
Heavy lift.
there's also been no issues over there, and I know when they first came to town, people that were against it were, oh, there's gonna be all these problems, there's been nothing. Right? So, I think model business for town. Okay, good. All right, let's move on. Do you want to do this, Roger, or was it Alex?
I think this is Alex.
The recognition of the Charlie Gardens Club?
Oh, okay, yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to recognize the Charlie Garden Club's work at the town common since the accident that took out the power when the vehicle hit the pole and the town common fence. There hasn't been any power over there for the well, for the garden club ladies to be able to water the flowers this past season. So they've been bringing water in buckets by hand to make sure the flowers got the water that they needed. So I just want to recognize them, for that. That's outstanding. They are an incredible, strong group of people to do that. We literally just got the water back on several days ago for both the well to utilize for watering the flowers, as well as the new pump and controls for the irrigation. So that's finally all squared away.
All right, excellent. I've driven by and seen them out there so many times, and I didn't realize that the water wasn't on there, because they're out there so often. That's outstanding, that they were bringing it themselves. That's above and beyond.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chair?
Mr. Marson?
I would just like to second what Mr. Rich was saying, and also that many people drive by and we go by that common every day and take for granted the work that these folks do. So the fact that they're being recognized is well overdue, I believe.
Yes, absolutely. Mr. Slider, do you have something to say?
Slattery, Chairman of the Permanent Building Committee. I'd like to piggyback onto what Alex has said. We had a problem at the Nelson Community Center. We have 6 empty pots out front. I talked to the contractor and everybody else, and it was like a circus. It was nobody's job, nobody wanted to do it, everybody wanted to get paid. and I have promised to save as much money as I can. So I approached the senior center about their volunteers doing it, and I was told that they were too busy or whatever. I then approached the Chartley Garden Club, even though the State Garden Club doesn't even know they exist, but they do a lot for the town. And the woman that I talked to, and I don't have names with me, she said, okay, we'll do it next Tuesday. And I went, and I wasn't expecting, I'm a man of action, I try to get stuff done the same day after meetings so I don't forget more than anything else. So the next Tuesday, we showed up. We had a donation, somebody paid for all the materials and everything else, and there was 7 women and another man, I believe the chairwoman's husband who showed up. We, in 2 hours, we planted the 6 bushes that are there. We got it all done. I convinced the OPM up there that it was his job to water the plants, because usually I kill plants that my wife has, so I wanted nothing to do with it. But the Chartley Garden Club came to action like right away. It was phenomenal. It was done within a week, and it's part of, makes me look good, because as I've progressed along with the 2 buildings, I've taken a lot of things personally, and this went much easier. And come to find out, the landscaper wanted about $1,500 to put 6 pots in, so I know it's not much, but to me, it's a lot. And every penny I can save, I'm trying to, but thank you, Chartley Garden Club, and they're an asset to this community.
Absolutely. All right, thank you, Mr. Slattery.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Marson.
I believe they also just took over the Tricentennial Park as well, taking care of
Did they?
that park as well.
So I know Mr. Kimball was doing that on his own for quite a while, so.
Is that one outside of the middle school?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, thank you again to Chartley Garden.
Excellent. Oh, I'm wrong with that. Okay, yeah, good. Okay, next we have an update on the Green Barton property on 47 Elm Street. Is that you?
Oh, is that me? So, yeah, this is regarding the group that we put together with the town planning director, the FinCom representative, planning board representative, select board representative. So we met last Wednesday to have our first meeting to talk about, we had a presentation from the planning director, and a representative from Weston Sampson was there to talk about the sewer, which is obviously what we've been sort of tasked to do, is to try to figure out a way to make this project work and be successful, and also take into consideration the concerns of the residents that would be impacted. So really, I just wanted to quickly just mention that we did have a meeting on that Wednesday. Had a great discussion, great presentation, great discussion. We are looking at some potential options that may help us deliver sewer to that area, while addressing the concerns and the needs of the residents around there. So certainly not in a position to make any promises or declarations at this time, but we are looking at some different options that that might be able to make this project a success. So that's really it for now. We'll have more updates as we kind of go further down the road on some of these options, but that's kind of where we are right now.
All right, thank you.
Great. Right.
Okay, thank you. Next up, we have Mr. Slattery. There's an update from the chair of the Permanent Building Committee on the new senior center and new town hall projects.
You already have one of these, but
Oh, thank you.
here, I'll give you another one.
We like paper.
Love it.
It's homework,
Thank you.
to keep you awake while I'm talking. Okay, after the last select board meeting, there seemed to be some questions that arose about the about the town hall septic system. We got that straightened out, I believe, to everybody's satisfaction. I just felt that at the time I was very upset that when I was watching the select board's meeting about how it was bouncing around the room and some of the misinformation that was probably going out there. I thought that I should come here and straighten it out, but it straightened itself out, so I'm not gonna bore you with the details. The taxpayers are still gonna pay for it regardless of where it comes out of, so it is what it is. I'm here to give you a little bit of an update, because everybody's driving by saying the buildings are done, the buildings are done. Why can't we move in? Well, there's more to the shell than just the shell. When it comes to the Norton Senior Center, we're about 95% complete. What we don't have, the inside is almost done, but the outside landscaping, the crabgrass is in its second harvest. They still haven't planted grass up there, and I'm not in the construction business. I don't know why they aren't. We're still doing a punch list. We're having a lot of trouble with the AV/IT stuff as far as hooking it up to Comcast and running cables between here, there, and everywhere. We've got to program the systems within the building. We've got line stripe, the parking lot has been paved, we've got line striping. And in paving the parking lot, we were having a construction meeting last week, and lo and behold, 2 citizens were walking through the building, which sort of emphasized what I have been saying for the last 3 weeks before that about we gave the contractor permission to take down the back fences. He's renting the fence, so he took everything down. So the place looked wide open, and people drive in and walk around. In fact, I came home from vacation last Sunday to see what was going on, and there were 3 people walking around the building. Couldn't get in, thank goodness. I went to the highway department because for 3 weeks I have been emphasizing security. I went to the highway department and asked them for some sawhorses. So I put sawhorses up in front because the contractor didn't seem to care. I cared. I didn't want somebody coming in on a Saturday and Sunday and stripping all the copper out of the building. Not that a sawhorse is gonna stop them, but it makes them a little bit more obvious, and I'm hoping there's a camera across the street that catches them as they get out of the truck. The landscaping I talked about. The state surprised the heck out of everybody. They did their part for the sidewalk to nowhere. They showed up one day, they showed up a week later and finished the job. We're waiting for the town's contractor to finish the section between Freeman Street and Subway. There's a long stretch there that they wanted sidewalk and curbing. We have the contractor told us he was coming out last week, but dealing with contractors is like trying to deal with a cable guy, which is a whole other thing. But we hope to have that sidewalk done within 2 weeks. So the project is not complete, to the point that we had scheduled a permanent building committee meeting there next week. And we debated about getting a temporary occupancy permit, but it was expressed by the contractor and by our OPM that the liability of the building not being done, that we really shouldn't get a temporary occupancy permit. Don't bother, don't be a headache, just cancel your meeting, and we did, and we moved the meeting back to the old senior center. For those of you who are wondering, even though the senior center is closed the last week of August, they will not be moving into the new senior center that week. They will be preparing to move. My estimated date, and it's Jim Slattery's estimated date, is 10/1. I do not see the town taking over the building and it be owned by the town till 10/1, because there's just too many internal things that have to be done within the building. As far as the town hall goes, it's 85% complete. The second floor is about 95% complete, to the point that the architect wants to do a punch list on the second floor, basically to move the furniture in, because we have to pay storage if we go over the, I think it's like the 20th of September. So we're trying to work that out. We're waiting for blacktop. We're waiting for the finish of the elevator with the controls. We've got the AVIT stuff. We've got landscaping. There's a punch list. And Lucia has expressed her concern about the state election phone line that is between the town hall and I believe it's the Attorney General's office. We had not forgotten about it, but it became an issue with the changing of OPMs. The old OPM went to Miami to do troubleshooting for Vertex, and we have a new OPM. He was not aware of it, but Lucia and I marched over to the trailer and made him well aware of it, to the point that there's like 6 people working on it. I believe the town manager is working on it, one of my committee members is working on it, and the contractor is working on it. But the primary elections will still, the state line will still come out of the old town hall. We're looking at, I'm looking at a Jim Slattery estimated completion date of 11/1. I think that's a more realistic date. We've got all the same problems there that we have in the senior center. The AVIT stuff, I'm getting very frustrated at the redundancy of communication gear going from old building to old building to old building to old building. When we went in with the communication center in Foxborough, but there's lines running underground between the town hall, the police department, the fire department, the highway department, and it's just, I'm getting a whole new education on why we're running old lines all over the place, but we're running new lines for what we want. We're getting the signs. The contrary to popular belief, the town hall sign will not be dedicated to me. My name will not be on it. Again, I have to emphasize there's no tours at either of the buildings. I mentioned the temporary occupancy permit. We have a liability problem. There's still construction going on in the buildings. There's still things going on. You just have to wait a couple of months and be like everybody else. The thousands of people that will be there to see when it opens, to pay their taxes probably, you can run in with them. There's nothing to see but new offices, and it seems like every time we've given a tour, it ends up costing us like $10,000 in changes, because they come in and they go, I want a door over here, but not a door over there. I want my desk over there, and I mean, everybody sat down 2.5 years ago and said, this is what I want, this is where it's gonna be, this is how it's gonna be, I want 2 chairs, I want 1 file cabinet. They do a tour and they go, I want 4 chairs, I want 6 file cabinets, I want 2 desks, and I want a plug over here. It just becomes, you know, be happy that you're in a new building, and it is what it is. And it's gonna be heated in the winter, it's gonna be air conditioned in the summer. As far as the Nelson Senior Center goes, there's 5 rooms for activities, not 1. Well, 1.5, there's a small room there. But there's 5 rooms, which is much bigger. There's adequate parking. I think the 2 buildings will be fine. We're just having trouble with the construction is I don't know what's going on. We take 2 steps forward and 1 step backward. In fact, today I met with one of the town officials, and I said, it seems like we're running in circles. You ask somebody to do something and they run around and around like the sawhorses. In 3 weeks I'm asking nothing. fine, I'll do it myself. You know, and that's what it's become. Finally, I'd like to thank the highway department. I went down there and Jared said, what kind of car do you have? I told him I have a Volkswagen Beetle with a sunroof to put the sawhorses in. I thought they were only 8-foot ones. They were like 12-foot ones, but I have a SUV, but they didn't fit. But he volunteered. I says, I did not want to put any burden on any town departments. I'm trying to work cooperatively with them. Besides the highway department, the fire department's been very good with their inspections. They've given a lot of input about what they'd like. The building department, I mean, they call the building department and he's like there the next day. You know, I'm just surprised at the reaction that we're getting from the different services in town. The health department's the same way, and who else did I have listed? I guess that's it for right now. So I'm open to questions if anybody has any questions.
So, my question is, and I know the answer to this already, but because the date on the senior center is pushed back a little bit, is that gonna impact the price that we're, the overall cost?
That's not up to me or the committee to decide. I've made up my mind that that's a fight for another day between the lawyers. And we've tried they've been sent letters of warning, they've been given the proper notice because each building site has gone beyond the date that they had set from the beginning. They have been given notice. That's for the town council and their lawyers to fight out how it's going to be equated out. I know a couple of my board members think we're going to make $1 million off the senior center because they're so far behind. I don't even want to talk about it, but no.
It won't be that much.
They're
It'll be something. But
they're aware of it. They've been sent the notices. We have our OPM Vertex, Steve, that is the primary OPM for us. He sent the letters to Seaver and O'Connor. O'Connor is like, I think, 5 weeks behind at the town hall, and Seaver is like 12 weeks behind at the senior center. And you know, Seaver, we went through 3 different management groups, and this group has no clue that they started 3 months early, which they're not getting punished for, but we keep having to mention to them that they had access to the property.
Okay, yeah, that's a question I get all the time, and people think that we're gonna, like, just like you said, we're gonna get $1 million back, and that's not the case.
I mean, to me, that's for the lawyers to fight. I'm not in the construction business, and I'm not in the contractual lawyer business. That's why we have a town council, and that's why we have all the other people.
So, any questions, folks? No. All right, Alec, do you have anything?
I do not. I just want to, again, thank Mr. Slattery for everything that he does, and the whole committee.
Yeah, thanks.
Sure, Mr. Slattery. I'm not sure where either one of these projects would be without the efforts that you put into it. So thank you very much for everything that you and your committee have done. So
well, I appreciate it. A lot of people are coming around thanking me. They realize some of the things I'm doing. I'm shocking the electrician. One story and then I'll leave because you want to get out of here. The electrician was complaining about the heat one day, and I have a pop-up thing for camping. I brought it out so we could work outdoors to connect up the stuff outdoors. I don't know why he didn't have one, but he got one. So I'm doing the best I can, the board's doing the best they can. Mike is showing up at the meetings. He's our liaison with the town. He's doing a great job with us. Even he was shocked when the state showed up way before our contractor.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. Slattery.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up, we have review and discuss and/or vote to allow electronic billing per MGL Chapter 60, Section 3A.
Well, you came in just in time.
Like messaging said, you're next.
Hey, I'm Paulo Linares, the treasure collector here in town, and I'm here in an effort to try and help start saving a little money on tax billing. The cheapest way for us to go ahead and do that is through e-billing. We have requests out for residents to allow us to do that, but in order to actually implement it, it's something that requires approval of the select board in town. So what we have been doing is getting more involved in like text to pay. We hope to have that up and running for the next real estate bill coming out in December. Just to get more involved with the electronic both ends, sending bills out and getting paid. That's the cheapest way for us to process any of the bills. So we're trying to encourage residents to be more involved in that to the extent that they're comfortable. I know some people are not more comfortable than others with that, and I completely understand that. This would be completely voluntary. But what we are asking to do now is to allow us to electronically bill real estate, personal property, and motor vehicle. And like I said, this is part of Mass General Law, Chapter 60, Section 3A. And specifically at Section B, I'll just read it real quick. The collector may issue the bill or notice required by Section 3 in an electronic form, provided that the electronic bill or notice meets the standards set forth in subsection A, which means it has to have all the stuff on it that the paper bill does. An electronic bill or notice issued shall be under voluntary programs established by the collector with the approval of the Board of Selectmen or Mayor, as the case may be. No political subdivision shall require a taxpayer to take part in an electronic billing system or program. So that's generally the biggest question, is if we're gonna force residents into electronic billing, and absolutely not permitted by law. So what I would like to go ahead for those, because I think in general electronic, people are becoming more electronically savvy, they're paying more bills and receiving more bills online, so we want to take advantage of that and encourage folks to do that. So we respectfully request that the board approve real estate, personal property, and motor vehicle electronic billing.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
Just one super quick question. You already got the software to implement it in place?
Yes, we have been in conversations with, we have a vendor that does it now, that does our billing, but they can do the electronic piece of it as well. Basically, we'll send them a file ahead of time. Because they track who's signed up for the electronic billing. When you sign on to, it's City Hall Systems is the system we use. If you go onto online bill pay through the town website, that's where you'll end up. They keep track of who's agreed to electronic billing, and so we will send them the file ahead of time. They'll remove anyone who's signed up for it, and then we send the file to the actual paper printer, and they issue the bills that way, but the rest of the bills would be electronic. So we're hoping this combined with text to pay, you can get reminders, like maybe 2 weeks ahead of time, let you know that it's coming. You can maybe click and either pay on the spot if you've signed up and got an account with City Hall Systems, or you get a second reminder, that type of thing, or maybe you want to jump on and schedule the payment for the people who don't want to pay in advance. You want to pay on the date, you can schedule it on the actual due date. So that's all the kinds of things that we're looking at to implement, but a piece of it is the electronic billing, which saves us the printing and mailing of the bills.
Thank you.
Chair? So I just want to be clear for those of us who are of a certain vintage, that this is an opt-in program, not an opt-out.
Absolutely.
Okay, so.
All right, Alec, do you have any questions?
Nope, the one that Roger just asked, that's the one I have.
All right.
He's good at that. He's always stealing my
All right,
question.
without any other questions, I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, come on up.
Laura Parker for Allen Drive. I believe there has been an ability previously to pay your bills online electronically. There is a charge for that, for the convenience of paying online. And I'd like like to know if this proposal removes that fee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Currently, those are two different things, so no, that would not remove the fee, that's not a fee that the town collects, that's the vendor that collects that to go through the process. So, no, that would not remove that fee, but there is no fee to get electronic bills. It would save the town money of printing and mailing those bills.
So this saves the town money.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, it saves the town. I mean, like, the advantage of the taxpayers is it comes to your email. I mean, I get complaints that sometimes people don't get their mail, or they're concerned that somebody else gets their mail. I have no control over that. I mean, we mail it out to the owner of record that we have, which it would be updated through the Registry of Deeds. So I can't control the post office, can't take responsibility for them, but if you want to take control of it and get it to your email, you can go ahead and do that. All right, you can do both if you want, but that doesn't save the town money. But you can do both to get, maybe to get started, see if you're comfortable with it, and then when you're comfortable, you can drop the paper.
So, just, what kind of fee are we talking about? How much, what's,
The fee for the paying,
The payee,
Yeah.
the paying is, with electronic check, it's 50 cents a card, 50 cents,
okay.
which is less than a stamp, but
Right, and this is, Mr. Chair,
Yep.
so this is this vote today would just be for the billing part of it, not for the payment part.
correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so this would allow the town to save money on anybody who signs up for it, you wouldn't have to mail it out, so you're saving on mailing in person,
Correct.
which is.
Yeah, you can also
Yeah,
get it,
no,
like,
no, no.
the idea would be to get it 3 times too. You might get it upon issue, and then I'd like to see it after like 2 weeks, like 2 weeks in advance, and maybe 2 days in advance. So you get 3 payments to say, hey, you didn't pay your real estate tax.
Yeah, reminders are good.
Yes, yes, and we don't have to mail out additional reminders or demand notices and things like that, because we're until, reminded 3 times, so.
Okay.
Lots of people find it helpful,
Sure.
some not so much, so we just want the option, that's all.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Snyder.
I'd like to make a motion to allow for electronic billing per MGL chapters, sorry.
That's it.
Chapter 60?
Chapter 60.
Chapter 60, wow, I have to wait for it. Section 3A.
Second,
Okay, motion and a second. Alec?
Yes.
Denise?
yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes,
And I am a yes. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Just to be clear, this is for real estate, personal property, and motor vehicle, not utilities.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, perfect.
thank you.
Okay, next up, we have a discussion and or vote to declare the following items as surplus: the 2007 Chevy Silverado conservation truck and 1994 Elgin. I don't know what that is, but I guess it's surplus.
Something we're not buying.
It's a big truck.
Yeah, I know. Any questions, any bidders?
When will we be auctioning these?
As soon as you approve it,
You'll put them out on,
practically the next day, he'll have it up on municipal.
Okay,
All right, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Snyder?
I'd like to make a motion to declare the following items as surplus: the 2007 Chevy Silverado conservation truck and a 1994 Elgin.
second.
All right, motion and a second. Alec?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes,
And I am a yes. Now we have discussion and or vote to issue a letter of support for the Blue Apple Bus Program. Who wants to talk about that?
So you received a letter from the select board in Mansfield. Blue Apple Bus runs from Mansfield to Logan Airport. And I don't know the background, but obviously there must be a move to eliminate the service. And so Mansfield's asking for your letter of support to keep the service going.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Marson?
Having used this service many times myself, I would say that I would highly encourage us to send a letter of support to keep this service up and running. It's by far the easiest way I've found to get to Logan Airport. If anybody's on any bus route in town, you don't, all you have to do is get on the bus, get over to Mansfield, and you can get to Logan Airport for a small fee on the charter bus, so. And home the same way, so I would highly encourage us to do that.
Okay, any questions, Alec?
No, I've heard the same exact
Yeah.
feedback from other people as well as Rhonda, that it's a great option as opposed to Massport running the Braintree shuttle and anything else out there, but I haven't used it personally myself.
All right, anything else, guys?
Yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about it, so I'm not
Yeah,
sure
me
why
too.
they're pulling from me, why they wanna pull from me. All right, I'll make a motion
So,
to,
who's gonna make the letter?
And it's already written.
Okay, well, there you go.
It's a,
there you go. So, we see how that, we're just on time. All right, so I'd like to make a motion to, issue a letter of support from the select board, for the Blue Apple Bus Program.
Second?
okay, motion for a second. Alice?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes?
And I'm a yes. Okay, now discussion on Zero Mansfield Avenue project. What do we have? Or you?
Paul is here. I know we had a discussion with some members. There was a project that was proposed to be built at Zero Mansfield Ave. The project was denied. As part of that, the developer was gonna run gravity sewer from the center of town up to Reservoir at his expense. But now, where that project hasn't been approved, whether he moves forward or not, he's looking at different options to do a cheaper sewer line if he has to do a smaller project. So it would be a private sewer line again in a town road instead of a sewer line that could be used by residents.
Okay,
Okay.
any questions on that? No, Alec, any questions?
No, I just want to clarify that the developer was going to pay for a force main that would become, I guess, the town's or the MFN, Mike, running from the center of town up to that project at Reservoir?
It's gonna be gravity, right?
It's a gravity.
Yeah, it was gonna be a gravity sewer line. And now,
Okay, but I guess the point I'm trying to make, that was gonna be a line that everybody on Mansfield Ave would be able to tap into, that line ran by.
correct.
So before we
Paul
open,
just said it was private, sorry. Paul, did you say it was private?
Yes.
It's going to be private now.
Was
but it wasn't, the potential, the initial project wouldn't have been private, it would have been open.
It would have had the potential for residents to take.
So without opening a can of worms, do we want to discuss why the project was denied, or?
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair, I would not go down that road.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I think that it's in litigation, I believe, so I think.
Okay, then that's fine.
Be careful.
Okay, contract award, Norton Police Department, replacement of makeup air unit and gun range exhaust system.
I asked, we have one bidder for that project. I know the police chief has been looking for this for a few years now, and received funding in the capital. And Boiler Equipment, Inc. Is the bidder at $159,375. And I asked the select board to allow me to enter into a contract with them for this project.
Okay, any questions, anyone?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, when did this become an issue?
The chief has been looking for this for at least 2 years now.
Yeah, I remember talking about it a couple years back.
And the first price he got was was higher than capital awarded, so he had to go back to capital and get more money and put it
this has all been accounted for already in the current budget.
Any questions? Alec?
No.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marson?
I make a motion that we allow the town manager to award a contract to Boiler Equipment Incorporated for the Norton Police Department replacement of makeup air unit and gun range exhaust system.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Alec?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
And I am a yes as well. Okay, moving right along. Review, discuss, and/or vote on the regulatory and use agreement for the proposed local initiative project, LIP. Project located at 0 Newcomb Street, Assessors ID 5-3-0.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair of the board. We really appreciate your time. Sorry, my throat is a little irritated, so I hope you will forgive me.
Of course.
Can you understand me a little bit?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, so we were very intrigued by the initial discussion we had. You know, like I said last time, that we wanted to get a pulse of direction, so we make investments and do further due diligence and come back. So last meeting, first of all, my name is Rashid Sheikh. I'm one of the trustees of the 7 Shadow Realty Trust, who owns that 0 Newcomb Street. And with me, Bert Corey, who's the senior engineer at DGT Associates, who has developed some other projects in the town. And, you know, it's a pretty well-known company. They do some peer reviews and stuff too. And then we have sent you, Mr. Units, just a draft of the, you know, regulatory and use agreement, which was drafted basically from a boilerplate provided by Mr. Units, and it was originally drafted by our lawyer, who unfortunately cannot be here today because he's in Delaware because of vacations. But you know, he's a well-known lawyer, lives in Hopkinton, and he was ex Board of Selectmen member in town of Hopkinton as well. So we are here actually basically to present you the, you know, highlights of the projects, and then, you know, perhaps see the next step. But if you want to just kind of put that overall slide while I'm talking,
Sure.
so the board can see what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to talk about the overall, you know, like the top line of the project, and then we have Bert here to talk more detail, whatever you guys wish. So basically, one thing, if I remember from last discussion, one takeaway was that the board was very kind and very receptive, and one word kind of stayed in my mind is that, is there any local initiative we can follow, or at least that's what my understanding was. And then basically I dig further, so again, it is a 40B project, and there are different ways to do 40B. And one of the way is really the LIP, Local Initiative Program, where the town really partnered up with the developer early on, and you have a lot of input upfront, instead of us going to the state and the state writing a letter. You know, we come to you, and you know, provide your feedback, and we tweak the project, and hence with other departments and whatever you desire. My understanding would be that, again, you may have a process, but my understanding is that we set certain things today, and then afterwards, you know, we'll go to the zoning board or, you know, planning board, however you like it. There again are 2 paths. One is called local unit action, local action unit, and one is, you know, local initiative program. But I don't want to confuse. They're basically the same thing. They're basically a friendly 40B program. So why are we doing it? Just to summarize this, and we talked about it last time, that there's a lot of housing need, you know, in the whole state of Massachusetts, especially in this area, which is accessible to Boston, and it's becoming increasingly unaffordable to own single-family homes. So our effort here is that this is a pretty good land, and it's kind of surrounded mostly by, you know, single-family home, but across the street, there is a multifamily. So when you go to 40B, people kind of get greedy and they try to think of apartment building and this, that. But we thought that with the neighborhood, what would really be, accepted. So we came up with this idea where all these units are 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, 2-car garage units. So they are kind of, they're duplex, and they are, 2 units together, but they have all the bells and whistles of a single-family home, about 2,100 square feet, each one of them. A very close friend of mine is developing a very same project in Grafton, and that's kind of where the idea came into my mind. And I've been doing a few things in the past as well, so, we thought that this would be a good project, fit very well in this area, and that would actually do a few things. A, it would provide a good inventory of sort of single-family homes where people cannot afford nowadays the price of new single-family home with all the bells and whistles is going well above $1 million, whereas this will be well below. We are thinking of somewhere around $650,000 to $700,000 in the market, but with the affordable units will be somewhere $300,000 to $400,000, maybe more closer to $300,000, which is definitely below the cost, but that give incentive to the town. So basically, that's the overall gist of the project. And I have Bert here with me, if you wanna, know more about the project and, the way we are running the utilities. Like you said, we do have an easement already recorded through the, Newland Street, I think, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and then in this way we can loop. We have been talking to different departments. Like I said last time, they've been very kind, very cordial, very professional, and they've been giving us, different directions of how the utilities need to be looped and this and that. And we believe that we have all that, but we certainly will go back to them. But here we are, and, if you have any questions in that regard.
Right, so, once again, I think I said it last time, I appreciate you coming to us and asking for advice. And I also think I said last time that man back there, Paul, is the man to see. He has the answers to every question I heard. Is that correct, Paul?
Sure.
When it comes to this. No, but I think you're doing it the right way. You will have to go before the planning board, obviously, and the zoning board. So.
Yeah, we were very lucky to basically talk to Paul before he left. And then when he came back, we had a discussion with Paul and, with Mike, and actually Nick has been very helpful as well. And so your DPW director, and even we met with your, police and fire and all the other departments as well. But my thought was, and when I was looking at the LIP application, if we have to submit the LIP application, we need a support letter from the Board of Selectmen. And we want to understand what is your process there. I mean, do you take a vote here, and do you give us an initial support letter, and then we go to the ZBA, or how do you like to proceed?
I've never done one of these
I
before.
haven't either. Yeah, I think, Mike, have you done one of those before? Before they've gone to planning?
We have, trying to think of, Mansfield Ave was a friendly 40B. And so I think the select board voted to issue a letter of support saying they were willing to work as a local initiative partnership for the project. So if that's what you want to do, we could do that and get that letter to them, and then they can move forward.
Yeah.
In the meantime, town council can work with their attorney
Right.
on ironing out an agreement that we come back to.
Because Mr. Chair, so we have the draft agreement in here, so
Yeah.
we have town council obviously review that and all that. And then, do we, I'm gonna steal a Denise question maybe, but does the letter sort of bind us to anything legally, or is it just a statement of support essentially? That we're willing to, support the project up into, not including, approvals or anything like that. We're certainly not committing to anything.
Right,
necessarily.
I mean, it's still obviously would be up to the zoning board, they have to go through the permitting with the zoning board, so would just be that it has your support.
Right, we're not overstepping.
Right.
Yeah, it's just saying, you know, we agree that it's a good for the town.
Yeah, and to be clear, they don't have to be here doing this and asking, so,
I wish more, honestly, I wish more developers would, but,
So-
would step up the way you guys have as far as reaching out to everybody in town before you've been submitting. I think that's the way it should go. I think that
Thank you, sir. We
things go a lot
believe,
smoother.
that's how we want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I think you have questions.
Yeah, quick question. I'm hearing the benefits would be that we have more involvement in the upfront discussions about the property and how it's gonna be laid out. Are there any cons, based on our experiences in the past, Mike, that you've seen?
No, I mean, the one that we did, we didn't have any bad experience. They worked well with us, so everything was.
it's not blinding us to anything.
I think the cons would be seeing this preemptively before the planning board and everybody getting excited that this might actually be a project and then, you know, it falls through or something happens. That's, to me, that would be a con, because I think this would be a great development for the town.
On a
You know,
personal
but seeing it
note-
not go through would be a con, I think, in my eyes.
On a personal note, I love the fact that we do need some more affordable housing. 400,000 is not really, might be not affordable, let's get lower, but, yeah.
Yeah, good.
I mean, because obviously, when they go to the experts, water, sewer, highway, planning, zoning, they'll line things out, might say, well, this isn't gonna work, too many units here, you gotta cut it back, things like that.
Yeah.
And having been on the planning board, I mean, I know there's some planning board member here now and Paul is here. I personally would appreciate that too, because that limits the amount of time you're gonna be in front of that board. Whether it's, you know, we've had some go on for, I'm sure Laura, you've had some go on for meeting after meeting after meeting.
Just to clarify, 40B goes to ZBA, not planning board.
Yeah.
Actually, Mr. Chair, can I just do clarification on this?
Yeah,
as we
absolutely.
need to? Okay, first of all, 40B, that she's correct, that's gonna comprehensive permit. It's gonna require comprehensive permit regard that support letter, it's just a support letter, and it's gonna have to go through that process. If you go with the LIP, if you go with the local action unit, that goes to the planning board. So you have a lot of options there, you know. To be honest, whether it goes to planning and zoning, we still work with the, you know, town planner and the building department and DPW and everybody, you know. The thing is, this is what I have learned over the year, that if I would have gone to direct 40B, it still could be friendly 40B, but it's a different agency, and they do the due diligence. Yes, they will get your input, but I won't be getting this upfront input. Then they get a simple input, and they review the whole thing already. By the way, I've spent some time with them. They love the project too. The fact they were saying that you're doing 3-bedroom, 2-car garage is like a house, it's a great thing. Matter of fact, if you do 2-bedroom, they still require you to do 10% 3-bedroom. We're doing 100% 3-bedroom. So they love that. So we could have gone that out, but I put that on hold, and then I went down and talked to LIP director, it's a different director. And when I compared, our thought was, since we want to do friendly 40B, we want to be upfront with you first, instead of, you know, heavy-handing you.
Yeah.
You know, so that's honestly, and I think at this point, what we're looking for is really a vote on the support letter, and then we'll follow the next steps. And of course, we'll work with, you know, Mr. Units and the council to iron out the legal detail as well.
Okay. So,
Sorry,
Go-
Mr. Chair.
go ahead.
So I don't want to be that guy.
oh, you're gonna be.
But here he is.
But, so what's in the agenda is a review and discussion and a vote on the regulatory use agreement. It's not about the letter of support.
You
So-
you got right in front of me on that one. I was gonna mention the fact that we should, and I would like to have a letter presented before, I mean.
Yeah, so I was gonna suggest, could we have a letter drafted and then have us review and vote
Yeah,
and
so we
sign
can put it
on it?
on the next agenda. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Took the words
when
out
I
of
say, no, it's just, it's a
Proceed-
procedural.
it's a
Fair
process.
enough, fair enough. But could we, then, can you vote on the, maybe authorize, I don't know, you know,
Council has to look at it though first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, that was, you know, my counsel was telling me that maybe you will vote to authorize Mr. Units to, through council, to iron out. That's what my counsel was telling me, that you will authorize the town manager.
Do we need to vote for you to authorize that? I think we could do it
It's
anyways.
town.
Yeah, because I feel like.
Yeah, I don't think we need to vote on
It's
that.
part of the normal process, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, he'll work with your council.
It's up to you, it's your process. That's what my counsel is telling me, that maybe you,
Yeah,
you know.
Some towns,
vote.
yeah.
Every town is different.
so Mr. Chair.
Mr. Sen,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So, what we're saying is that unfortunately, because it's not on the agenda in a way that we can vote on the letter of support, we'll have to wait to the next meeting to vote for the letter of support.
Yeah, and in the meantime, he'll work with your council and they'll put it together.
Fair enough.
Yeah, okay.
Fair enough.
And then we'll sign it at that meeting, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any other?
Alec, did you have any questions? You're standing in front of us.
I had a quick question. What's the square footage of those units?
About 2,100 square feet.
Okay.
2,000 to 2,120, 2,000.
I'm sorry, I have one other question. Whereabouts off of Newcomb Street does this go?
You wanna show that slide?
I didn't think I was gonna have to talk.
Yeah.
All I had to do
You're
was
so
say,
close.
I didn't realize that was the camera. I'm standing in front of that.
Okay, you wanna?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead, I think white noise is better.
So it's about halfway down Newcomb Street.
Yes.
There you go.
You answered yourself. It's just across from the, diagonally across from the graveyard, and
Yep.
there's a multifamily.
Yeah.
Just in front of the
Here's
multifamily.
the great bed right here. Baggett Crandall residence.
Yep. So, okay.
Right at the end where Newcomb T-bones into Newland,
Yep.
just before that.
We bought this land from Daggle Crandall. And then the Daggle Crandall, on one side, on the Newland side, Daggle Crandall has the assisted living type, senior housing. And on the other side, on the new, we are on the Newland and Newcomb.
Okay.
So, in that order.
Very good. So near the cemetery.
Near the cemetery on one side,
Yeah.
and near the assisted living,
On the
senior
other
living on the other side.
So another quick question. So are these, just to clarify, are these rental units or are they,
They're for sale.
they're for sale units? Okay.
They're a little different. I thought this was simple process.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
your time. Appreciate it.
Okay. Next up, we have discussion and or vote on the compensation of the traffic safety, I'm gonna say safety, traffic safety committee, and possible appointment of a new member.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Martin, take it away.
So, we have, I've been to several traffic safety committee meetings. And I think we have a unique opportunity here where we can have somebody who is a traffic professional sit on that board. His job is traffic control. So, and I think that we should add a position on that board as a traffic professional or traffic safety professional, however we want to word it, to get this person to sit on that board and have input into that committee.
So Mr. Chair, sorry. I'm fully supporting this person's resume is excellent. I'd be cautious about putting a permanent position in as a traffic professional because I don't think there's a lot of them.
So that's what
That was my initial feedback, absolutely, yes.
So I thought about that when I was coming up with this idea, but then I said, if for some reason he, moves out of town, decides he doesn't want to be on the committee, his term is up, we'd be in no worse a position than we are right now.
Right, he's only seeking alternate, right? Right now in this position, I think having his input is valued. The only negative is that he doesn't get a vote on it, but I'm just cautious about putting in something that we won't be able to achieve going forward when he decides he doesn't want to be part of the committee anymore and don't have any other traffic concerns.
Yeah, that was my initial drawback on it. And then I think it might have been you, Roger, that said, well, we have so many committees and boards that are half empty right now anyways. that if that were the case, while we're looking for somebody, you know, that position could remain open while still having all the at-large members.
And it might, even after, if, say we vote this person in, if somewhere down the road, somebody looks at this board and says, hey, there's a position for a traffic professional on here, and not knowing what it is, they can say, well, listen, that's my job, so let me see if I can be, help with this.
Yeah, maybe a suggestion would be just make it an open citizen position with preference for someone with traffic background or something like that. There's a way to do that.
All else being equal.
Exactly.
Yep, I would say that would be great, you know, if we wanna just add another citizen with
Just
a
like a vote,
traffic
yeah,
background.
that way it's a vote, but yeah.
Right, that way they have input and they do have a vote on it.
And they have a leg up on anybody else who might be interested at the time, so it gives just a little bit of
Right.
choice there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can, you know, say anybody with the traffic or engineering or, you know, some, add a few.
Just give you some flexibility,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was trying to find a way to not make it so narrow that it was, you know,
Yeah.
appointing one person. Wanted to make it open to, you know, people who.
Maybe engineering, traffic, or even municipal, that kind of something to
Yeah.
do with towns and.
Mr. Chair,
It's
how many
just-
members, how many people are on that committee?
There's, I don't know, ask the liaison.
So I can tell you that right now, there are,
A lot.
there's 9 positions and 1 alternate, but there's only 8 active members.
Okay.
And there's 1 from a committee who doesn't have somebody on that board right now,
Okay.
right?
And did we, and when we came up with this committee, did we identified certain, like we identified a member of the select board, we identified that sort of the
Police.
constitution of the committee, right?
Police, highway, school, alternative transportation committee.
Yeah, the fire, and there were 3 citizens.
3 citizens.
And an alternate.
Okay.
And
There's quite a
one
few.
alternate, yeah.
Okay, okay. All right, cool.
So, want to make a motion, Roger?
Yeah, I would make a motion that, how are we gonna word this? We're just gonna vote now.
I wouldn't put it as another, resident spot, I would put it as a professional, as something like, geez, somebody with traffic or engineering or.
Traffic or engineering.
Or
professional
municipal experience.
So would this be an additional
A spot.
citizens position? So we're increasing the number of the members of the board?
Yes, by
Okay,
1.
gotcha. So we're increasing it by 1. Okay, so I'll take a shot at this.
So this makes it, just because this makes it 10, so
Yeah.
theoretically you could have a split, a true split vote.
But they, right, but they,
Yeah.
again, I thought about that, but it's a committee that really, it's, all they do is, the purpose of the committee is to make recommendations. They don't, it's not like they're making decisions about
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah, they recommend to us, so.
So,
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready, go for it.
All right, here we go. Mr. Chair,
Mr. Smith.
I would like to make a motion to increase the number of positions on the traffic safety / study committee to 10. And to add a citizens position with a recommendation that that position be specific to someone with engineering, traffic safety, or municipal experience.
I like it.
I didn't love it. I didn't love
I
it.
like it except for the and, because now it sounds like you're doing 2 positions.
Yeah, okay,
So,
yeah.
with that one position.
Change that to like with, yeah. I'm sure Jen will take care of it.
I think you did, I think that was as close as we're gonna get.
Yeah.
second.
Okay.
Let's see how that goes.
Motion is second, Alec,
Yes.
Denise,
Yeah.
Kevin,
Yes.
Roger,
Yes.
and I am a yes.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Marson.
I make a recommendation that we ask Dan Oliver to take this new position on the traffic safety / study committee.
Second.
Okay, motion is second, and I should have noted before that I believe the traffic committee, did you guys talk about this beforehand? or at least with the chair?
Yes,
And he was-
I spoke with the chair, I spoke with Mr. Oliver to make sure that Wednesdays at noon, when the traffic safety slash
I can't believe I got
study
that meeting
committee meets, he will be available for those meetings.
Great.
All right.
I think this would be a great addition. This guy's got a lot of.
He's here if you want to talk to him.
No, not really.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to make sure that was clear, that the chair knew about it.
The chair knew about it, yes.
All right, so there's been a motion and a second. Alec?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes?
And I am a yes.
Sometimes your resume speaks for itself.
And in this case, it does.
So,
Absolutely.
Mr. Oliver, thank you very much for stepping up for this.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Okay, we're on the home stretch here, guys. Stick with me.
Kind of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Discussion on fall annual town meeting, including but not limited to proposal on article for engineering study of drainage issues on Barrows Court and South Worcester Street.
I can talk on those. As you know, we've had a lot of issues on Barrows Court, and we have the other issue on South Worcester Street. So I'd like to have an article on the warrant to hire an engineer, civil engineer, to do a drainage study on Barrows Court, so we can see if there's a way we can address that issue. The other one, we just need to create an easement for drainage on South Worcester, the neighbor, the homeowner is willing to give us that. Then I just wanted to check on the others. I know one possible article that has come up. The building committee has not got a price yet for the demo of the town hall, so I'm not sure if it's even gonna be ready for the October town meeting. It may have to wait until May, but we'll see. But there's money available that, in other articles that were appropriated through this whole process for a parking lot at the senior center, for a couple studies, site studies and things. There's like almost over $100,000, I think, sitting in articles, that if the bid comes in and they need some money, there's a possibility that we could repurpose that money, but I'm not sure it's gonna be ready yet, so we'll have to wait and see on that.
So you don't need to vote from us tonight on these, right? On any of this?
Just if there's any articles that you want us to put on there, you know, let me know. We'll get them on as placeholders.
Mr. Chair.
Let's just say.
So just to make sure, the Elm Street sewer project has to be an article, correct? And that'll be, I'm sure you've got that, but I just wanna make sure.
And are you going out to bid before we put this on the warrant, so we know how much we're looking to spend for this survey, study?
Yeah.
Drainage?
We're the conservation agents working on getting an engineer to give them some prices on that right now.
So you have to have the cost for the warrant.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Hurst.
Through you. Mike, have the residents of Barrows Court been notified that this may be something
Not
that's
yet,
coming?
no.
Okay, okay,
I wanted to bring it to you
Yeah.
guys first.
okay.
Okay, excellent, so now on to.
You don't need engineering for South Worcester, that's something different.
We really just need a surveyor to develop a plan for the easement. That'd be
Okay, next up is discussion on changing annual town election date.
Yeah,
Kevin?
Mr. Chair? Yeah, so, if I might, before we do go on to that, Mike, were we planning to have a special town meeting at all? So we have some time to add additional articles, okay. So actually this, this actually came to me through a voter in town, and I think it's an idea worth talking about. At this point, I just wanted to kind of get everybody's feeling on it, which is our town election date is currently at the end of April, as we know. And then almost immediately after that, we have town meeting. It seems like there's it might be better to switch them. to have the town election after town meeting, because you have all that sort of change going on right before town meeting. So you have new select board members, you have a new moderator potentially as well, who has to now moderate the town meeting 2 weeks after, or whatever it is, 3 weeks after getting being elected as town moderator. So I just wanted to, I know other towns also do their elections in June, to try to, so in other words, you have town meeting with the group that's worked on, because you're also thinking like all these groups are working on all the articles that are gonna be on the town meeting, and then you have the election, and then you have a whole new group of people. Or you potentially have new, not, but you have additional members. So I thought it was an idea worth considering, which would be to change the town election date, the annual town election date, to sometime shortly after town meeting. So that's it. Just wanted to get everybody's thoughts on it and see if it's worth pursuing or not.
I mean, is there anything we need pursuing, because there's nothing in the, looked in the bylaws, we're not fixed in having to have it.
Yeah, we are. We're fixed to have it in April, the last week of April.
I just find it
The
in the
last
bylaws.
Saturday in April.
Or, no,
Or
it
is
could
it from the
be,
charter?
it can be.
I didn't see the chart, you know.
It could be earlier in April.
It could be earlier.
in April.
It has to be in April.
It has to be by the end of April, so
Right.
the last day to allowable by law will be Saturday in April.
Yeah, I think when I first moved to Norton, I think we had one like on April 10th or something, so.
Yeah, we
I
can
know
have
we've
we can have it
moved
sooner, just not later.
Right,
Than
right.
the last Saturday in April.
It originally was the first or second Tuesday in April all the time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I remember
then
that.
this was changed not too long ago. Is there a date on that? To make it any week in April. And it's
2019.
2019. And if the select board didn't decide by January, it would be the last Saturday in April.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically it says it has to be on a Saturday in the month of April. But if we didn't pick the date in April, then it would be on that last
It
Saturday.
would have to be on,
Yeah.
gotcha. So, I think it's worth considering. I don't know, Mike, if it creates any, I didn't talk to you beforehand about this, so sorry if I'm putting you on the spot, but I don't know if it creates any other issues, if we change the date, does it cause any other problems that that we don't want to create? I don't really know, so. But,
I mean, check with the town clerk on that
yeah.
and see how the timing
Yeah.
works out.
Yeah.
To me, it makes logical sense to keep the same players to get it over the line and then change the guard kind of a thing. Just the steps to go through it, right? So if it's a charter change, we'd have to go through town meeting to have that proposed and approved.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't believe it's in the charter. I think it's in the bylaw.
In the bylaws?
So it just would require town meeting, not a vote.
Right.
I didn't see it in the file. I don't look at it, but yeah. I did look. It was like during lunch break.
What section is it?
Section 5.1, annual election.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember saying it, I didn't look at it today, but I do remember saying it was in April.
Yeah,
So it's specified that it was in April.
My personal thoughts on this, I mean, I personally think it's fine the way it is. I think this is changes something to change it.
Yeah.
But that's just my own.
And I'll say that, Mr. Chair, I'll say that what stood out to me was, not just the changes to the other positions, but the moderator change was the one that sort of got my attention, which is like, yeah, that kind of makes sense, right? Like, we have a moderator in place, we elect a new moderator, and now that new moderator has to get ready for a town meeting 2 weeks after they've been elected. So that was the one that, that I thought was sort of got my attention a little bit more, so.
Oh, believe me, we're all thrown to the wolves.
We were, yeah.
When I was chair of the planning board, I was voted chair, 4 days before the town meeting?
That's
so,
another
yeah.
great example, right?
So
Like
no,
the planning board, so.
I understand that portion of it, but
It's hard to come in that soon before a town meeting. You'll be able to contribute in a meaningful way when you're that new to the board. And
yeah, but and to Kevin's point, the moderator is probably the only position other than everybody else. You're not having a whole board turnaround, so it's not going to be
And,
5 new people.
Mr. Chair, I can tell you that from my own experience recently, be jumping in the deep end of the pool, that that was one of the reasons that I was purposely going to meetings ahead of time, just so I would be
You had to be ready, man.
up to
Yeah.
speed in
Yeah.
case by chance I was.
Unfortunately, not everybody is like you.
Yeah, so I didn't put this on as a vote or anything like that. I just wanted to, you know, kind of get a feel for everybody's thoughts on it. You know, we'll kind of see if it goes any further, if you guys have any other thoughts on it.
I'd like to see what the feedback from Lucia is.
Yes.
And see if, you know, there might be something with her trying to, I don't know
Yeah.
what the word.
Yeah, there might
And
be a
it-
specific reason why it was like.
And I
that.
did reach out to Lucia, but it was very late, so maybe by the next meeting I'll have a little bit more information from her as well, so. So toss it around and, you know, we can talk about it at the next meeting.
All right, thank you, Kevin.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, other business?
Appreciate it.
Topics not reasonably anticipated? Nobody? Nobody, good. Old business, review and discuss and or vote on, this is the permit fees. So unfortunately, Lucas Ray was one of the ones behind this, and he had a family issue. I don't wanna get into it, it's personal, but he couldn't make it tonight, so we're gonna, as much as I hate tabling things more, there was a valid reason to table this one, so we're gonna table it to the next meeting. And now we have the town manager's report.
Just wanted to give you an update, that the department heads, Nick and Jason, myself, Chris Sonner, met, the police department met with Site One regarding their operation on Newland Street. And they agreed that they'll start operations on site with their tractors and moving material on site. They won't start until 7 AM in the morning. But they're still taking their truckloads of material at night that then get moved around during the day. We have reached out to town council and gone back and forth a couple times. And town council is researching the whole situation, mainly reviewing the agricultural exemption that site has, and checking case law to see if there's any way around, getting around that. And I would hope to have her come to the next select board meeting and talk in exec session about options that you might have.
Okay. Excellent.
The company's a national company with a lot of money, so we obviously gotta do things the right way.
Excuse me, will that be open for discussion with
I'm sorry?
would that be open for discussion with residents at that time, at the next meeting?
If we're gonna have it during the executive session, no, because that'll be with the attorney first. But I will make sure it's on a future agenda for the residents to come in and discuss.
Could you give us a time frame for that?
We have to talk to the attorney first. But sooner rather than later. Yeah.
Right, they're in their slower season, obviously, now they're going into a little slower season. During the height, they have 45 truckloads a day of material
90.
coming in there. So. All right, just a reminder, the report, dedication, photo. So think about it. Who you gonna dedicate it to, and,
Okay.
all right?
When is that due? Do we have a due date on that yet or not? Not yet.
It was in September.
September, okay. Oh, that's good, that's, okay.
You're ahead of the game, you got plenty of.
Don't tell them that.
Don't tell them.
Don't tell me that, no, don't tell me that.
No, there's never enough time.
Okay, next up we have select
Just
board.
had- If I could, just one
Yeah,
other
sorry,
thing.
go ahead.
I emailed this to you, so the new law in February, I always say it wrong, so. I
Well, she's
don't-
proposed right now, right?
Accessory dwelling units are allowed by right.
No, she's signed it, didn't she? Or she signed it. She did sign it.
Okay,
So starting in February, it's allowed by right. Anyone can put an accessory dwelling unit on your home. And it doesn't have to be a relative. You can rent it out to whoever you want. And also, it takes away the provision, and we haven't talked to council on this, but reading it, it takes away the provision. So if you lived in a 20,000 square foot zone, residential zone that needed 20,000 square foot for a lot, and you had your house on a 10,000 square foot lot, and you also owned another lot that was 10,000, previously, if those were in common ownership, they had to be combined as one lot. Now, you could not develop that 10,000 square foot lot. It takes away that away. If those lots existed, when the 10,000 would have been allowed, and then you've increased it to 20, those 10,000, that's now a buildable lot, even though it's in common ownership. So this is, we'll have to
One more step if the state is stepping on us.
see what happens with that.
It doesn't eliminate any of the permit fees or anything, the water sewer tie-ins, all that stuff. I'm not sure.
Right.
Yeah, try adding a bathroom, see how much that costs to tie in.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So we got select board report and mail. I know Alec, I think, had something, is that right?
I did. Good evening, thank you, Mr. Chair. I wanted to say a few words regarding the results of the override vote, this past July 13th. I've had a lot of people approach me on it. So first off, I just wanted to thank Lucia and all the poll workers and others involved for all of the work they did leading up to the voting day. As you all know, in my opinion, this should have been a ballot vote first. But like it or not, the results were resoundingly clear by over a 2-to-1 margin. The voters have resoundingly rejected the tax and spend policies. Nobody wants to pay extra because of poor financial planning decisions and policies. I do believe everyone wants the town of Norton to grow, but it needs to be responsible, sustainable, healthy growth. First thing you do when you're in a hole is put the shovel down and stop digging. Throwing money at a fiscal problem has never been the answer, public or private, and it never will be. We don't have a revenue problem, we have a spending problem. As you know, I don't partake in the social media blame and shame games. People see through that, and I hold myself to a higher standard. As every taxpayer or resident should hold all board representatives, whether appointed or elected, to a higher standard with that. I assure you this type of condescending blaming and shaming nonsense would never fly in the private sector. With that being said, the residents that have approached have asked how we're going to hold the department heads accountable with their budgets. We've been working diligently since the vote to look for ways to find savings and achieve efficiencies through collaboration and teamwork. The town manager and department heads all know what they need to do moving forward. There is now an expectation that each department head delivers to the town manager a maximum 3% budget. This is sustainable. I have 100% faith in their ability to fulfill the will of the people. This is what the taxpayer wants and was clearly realized by the vote on July 13th. If they cannot do it, then we need to step in to figure it out and find the people that can. They have a commitment from and full support through the leadership through our chair of our select board, Steve Hornsby, as well as the chair of our school committee, Nick Schleicher. Maybe even possibly we can set up some sort of government efficiency or audit committee. We cannot use one-time non-recurring revenue from grants, etc., on recurring expenses such as new hires. One-time non-recurring revenue needs to be used towards capital expense items. For instance, do not hire any personnel for new positions created by state grants or mandates. That just sets us up to fail. Also, a point of note, unfunded mandates do not need to be complied with. The state cannot force us to comply with an unfunded mandate if we show that we do not have the money in the budget to support it. I encourage you to please look that up on the state of Massachusetts auditor website under the Division of Local Mandates. We need to get better at negotiating things like contracts, insurance plans, benefit plans, etc., and stay within budget. Those are some items from the expense side. As far as the revenue side, some of the opportunities are to better streamline planning to increase our commercial and industrial tax base and to raise revenue. Possibly looking at more engagement with the Tri-Town Chamber, which has a huge database of companies, as well as outreach to firms looking to relocate to our area. I think the EDC is already starting to do that, which is great. We should also look at other possible opportunities with surrounding municipalities and form intermunicipal agreements that potentially mitigate future cost increases to Norton residents with some of our utilities, such as our water supply and the potential cost of PFAS mandate requirements. We need to look at the possibility of consolidation of some operations, such as school IT department with the town hall operations, as a complement to the town supplying SROs to the schools. We need to make long-term decisions that will pay off for decades to come. That's how we take care of our future generations. These are examples of conversations and decisions that need to be made. This is how you grow. Exercising discipline, keeping control of expenses, as well as mitigating future expense increases while simultaneously increasing revenue. It's the pathway to sustainability to avoid future override attempts due to bad financial management and decisions. It's not just talk, this is the real world business where the rubber meets the road. How do I know these principles work? I've implemented these principles for my own companies for the past 30 years, and they've proven successful. Also, they're also explained in detail in every educational and institutional financial planning book out there. These types of budget-minded principles are what we need to implement, and it'll pay off substantially for our future generations. Nothing worth doing ever comes easy. We must challenge ourselves to leave a better tomorrow for our kids. We can never quit at it. We have to do what is right and just what is not easy. This is who we are, this is Norton, being financially disciplined and looking ahead for our families' futures. Thank you, Norton, for your overwhelming support, and thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you, Alec.
Through you, Chair. I just wanted to clarify that is Alec's personal viewpoints, has not been discussed as a board, those positions have not been.
Yeah, it was under the report mail, so it was based on the mail that he got, so,
All right.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, I was gonna mention something else, I'll do it the next meeting, I'll read that. So, next up is the warrants. I approve the warrants as written. Next meeting, I believe is September 12th, but we're probably gonna discuss that offline and potentially agree before then. We do have an executive session, so buckle up. I declare under General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, that the purpose of the executive session would be to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining concerning local union 9517, Senate A and I forget AFS asked me, clarify local 1702 because a discussion in open session could compromise the purpose of the executive session, and with the board to not return to open session at the conclusion of the executive session.
I move the board go into executive session under General Law C 30A 21A3 for the purpose, reason declared by the chair, and with the board to not return to open session thereafter.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion and second. Alec?
Yes.
Denise?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
And I am a yes. Complete, thank you.